Yes.
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Came out a month ago.
It did. Pokemon was nice enough to send Ilya a giant 2 boxes of Pokemon stuff.
Oh, such cool stuff.
Yeah.
And the advent calendar. Follow the Geek Apprentice on Instagram. Just shameless plug here. Just do an advent calendar for Pokemon Company.
It just looks like a ton of Pokemon cards.
It is. It's just a bunch of Pokemon cards, and I'm like, I've never played the Pokemon card game. I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
A lot of my students have Pokemon cards, and I want to be like, guess what I got?
So
I don't think most people who have Pokemon actually know how to play the trading card game. Just putting that out there.
I
tried reading through some of it, and I was like, I literally don't understand what's happening.
It's nonsense. I've tried playing it. It's just
But the cards, some of them are super pretty.
I knew how to
Yeah,
look
the
at the
cards are cool,
cards.
The cards are really cool.
Yeah.
The game is nonsense. So
He's like, if we're honest, though.
I am honest.
Speaking of which, you can check out the videos sponsored by the Pokemon Trading Card Company on the channel.
Yes.
So
They're good videos.
Starting with the Geek Apprentice, what we'll do like a round table style. So like I guess we'll just list like 2 things each, right? 2 things good and then 2 things bad. So what was your like favorite thing about the game? Which one did you get though?
Shield.
Good. Good choice.
Originally, that was just an arbitrary choice, and then I found out that I had Galarian Ponyta, and I was like, yes.
So you're saying I also made the correct choice?
I just... Sorry, I got thrown off because Jesse was like, I also made an arbitrary choice, but in the background I just hear Daniel, Ponyta.
No. I said so you're saying I also made the correct choice? Because I got that too. But I got it not based off of which Pokemon was in which, but because it had not the shadow, the ghost type gym.
The different. There's 2 gyms that are different between the 2.
And
versions.
I like the ice gym. I just
one's cardio and
did the
one's
ice gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the other one is I think ground and fighting. But yeah, 2 pros. I have lots of pros, and I'm gonna try and avoid ones that I think others are gonna say too. So I'll try to say things that I think are probably unique to me as huge pros. Customization. I am one of those people that I get easily annoyed if I can't change my main character or the avatar in any way. And you can customize your character so much. I spent so much of my Pokemon money just on clothing because priorities. Not, super potions or things like that for my Pokemon. So I love the customization, and there was actually, this is very specific to me, actually a curly hair option that actually looked somewhat like curly hair. That never happened, so I could actually make the person look like me. So that felt really cool. So customization is one of the biggest pros, and while there are tons of other pros, again, I'm trying to avoid ones that I think other people will say. Okay, I guess I'll just go ahead and say this one. The balance between seeing Pokemon and random encounters. I was really concerned about that because I hate random encounters. It just feels like nonsense. Like, I'm like, it was just born out of the fact that they couldn't render Pokemon on a Game Boy, I'm like, why do we still have it? We can render the Pokemon. I'm sick of, like, if you do want to do shiny hunting or things like that, it was just luck. And it would just, grinding. And I always felt like seeing the Pokemon, at least in Let's Go, made you actually feel like you were in the world. And I will say some areas seem to be purely random encounters, but I'm not as annoyed with it because the world looks so good. And I think in most areas, like the wild area and everything, they've balanced that out well. So for people who really like random encounters, they're fine. But for those of us that hate random encounters, we get to see them.
But what about the trees?
Oh my gosh.
I will admit the trees do look bad, but like...
No, don't admit to it.
Good. We're not on the cons yet.
That's true.
I
that's
was
true.
just joking, anyways. Daniel, what is the one thing that you like about the
Oh, I
one
said
thing.
2. Sorry, I said 2.
Am I
Well,
only allowed to
that's
say one
that's
thing?
fine. No, I was
There's
joking.
so many things.
I
my
was joking.
The
'Cause you
customization is a
hate
big deal.
Pokemon.
I made my character look eerily like myself. Like they had the side part hair option and my glasses, and then he's wearing like a little button-up shirt and a blue hoodie like this, and like the brown shoes that are just like eerily made my character look like me, and I loved it. I should post a picture of that on Twitter at some point.
10-year-old us.
So, but there's so many things. The wild area is a ton of fun. I really wish that all of the routes were like the wild area. It's so like they don't have to be exactly the wild area, but even less narrow path routes. Like if it was just all the areas between towns were like the wild area, the game would be like superbly good. But what we have of the wild area is super good. The gym battles and the music in the gym battles gets you
Yes.
pumped. I really enjoy. I don't know. Like there's so much to enjoy. I never grew up as a Pokemon fan, so I'm not someone that's like nostalgic about Pokemon in that sense. I really got into it because my kid is into Pokemon, because he's a child who. I name one child who's not into Pokemon, and it's impossible. But then I started playing, and I'm just like, yeah, honestly, I had a ball. I had a ton of fun, and the older games I can't go back to. I did. Older games, Pokemon games, I have a hard time trying to go back to because of old gimmicky things and grinding and just random encounters and stuff like that, which I'm just not into. And Sword and Shield just was a ton of fun. It was a really small scale sort of deal, you know. There was no Calamity Ganon that's destroying the entire world. So at least like not really like
I haven't played to the end, so
okay, yeah. So I mean, like it's a much more scaled down story, and Hop is a really cool character. I think a lot of people say he's annoying, and he kind of starts out annoying, but he actually has a really good arc. Oh yeah, the beginning of the game he's annoying as heck, and he has a really cool arc, and yeah, I don't know, just there's a lot to love about the game. On the pro side, just design the Pokemon themselves. Like I'm not too worried about I don't care that we're missing a bunch of Pokemon from the decks, because I put so many hours into this game, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna finish the decks that's in here already, you know. Like there's no way. Still haven't. So, and I finished a bunch of the post stuff, so it's like I just feel like there's already more than enough Pokemon. I'm not worried about the decks thing. I feel like the Pokemon that are in there, there's some really cool Pokemon with some cool moves, and I don't know. I'm into it. I'm done rambling. I feel like I'm directional rambling. I didn't prepare anything for this. So.
No, you did good. I will say that I love how much more complex the gym puzzles are to like actually get to it. Like even on the very first gym battle, when we were at E3 and you had to get the water switches and stuff, it felt like one of the rooms from a Zelda game or something.
Yeah, you could have put that in a shrine in Breath of the Wild, and it would fit right in.
Yeah,
not the aesthetic, but the puzzle.
But it would be cool to have a game like that. Like everyone always was wondering, like, what would an adult Link and the style of like Wind Waker look like, and I think if you made it like that, it could work. But anyways, so I like the gym design stuff, and then I really like that similar to what Daniel said, the story is focused. It's like drawn back from like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, to where in those games you're not just saving your town from Team Rocket or the world or the universe, but you're saving the entire multiverse from being destroyed. And this one, it's just like, hey, I want to beat this guy who's undefeated, and that's so.
I mean, not to give any spoilers, like there is other world stuff that happens too. It's not like the literal end of the world like other Pokemon games, but
yeah,
it's
and
stuff that
it's
happens,
not the
but
end
it
of
feels
the
so much more-
multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. But it feels
Where-
like so much more scaled back and everything that it, doesn't feel intrusive.
Yeah. So it's like, and everyone makes the jokes in like Zelda games when it's like, oh, Ganon's taking over the world, I'm gonna go fishing or whatever. And in this game, it's not like the universe is coming to an end, I'm gonna go try to level up my Metapod. Like,
I need a Butterfree.
I need that Butterfree.
yeah, I have to go shiny hunting. It's really important, guys. The universe can wait.
Yeah. And actually, something I remembered, Jesse, that I actually did want to say
Okay.
about pros of the game. Even though some people complained about like the trees or whatever, there are some areas in the game that are actually visually really nice.
Yeah.
There's what is it called? Glimwood Forest is like really visually cool.
That's my favorite area.
Yeah, no, I like that one a lot. And then area a very story important area that I won't talk about, but that is particularly really cool looking. Visually, like there are some like maybe people maybe that tree texture is not 100%, but the overall presentation I think is really well done. Which I was gonna mention, and then I got sidetracked with a million other things. But sorry, back to you, Jesse. I'm sorry.
Okay, no. So my overall, because I already named 2, so I was done anyway. But my overall thing was when I was playing the game, I was letting my daughter play, and as I was reading off the stuff, she was like replying to it as if it was like someone actually talking to her. So that was really cool. Like whenever the wolf legendary Pokemon like shows up at the beginning of the game, she's like, we gotta go back to the house and tell Mom. We gotta go tell Mom the wolf came. And then whenever you get back on the path or whatever, and like Leon is talking to you and stuff, she's like shouting at him like, there was a wolf in the woods and it got all foggy and it disappeared and all that stuff. And I was like, this is cool. And that's when I put out the tweet earlier. It's like, I'm gonna do the live stream with her, but then that ended up not happening because I was like, if I do that, then she's probably gonna stay up even later, which means I won't be able to do the podcast. So I'll probably do the podcast, and then tomorrow I'll do the thing. So maybe the live stream thing will be tomorrow for people that want to watch that. But yeah, negative things. So tell us what you did not like about the game, Miss Geek Apprentice.
Well, I do want to say, first of all, my list of pros is definitely longer than cons. And then I have like a bunch of like random little things. One thing, and I'm like Daniel in that I haven't played all the Pokemon games. I played Pokemon Yellow a little bit, but I was young and just kind of...
And that was it.
Again.
No.
Hold on. It keeps doing that. I hope my Blue Yeti's not breaking. Ugh, it wasn't having issues earlier. But anyway, so yeah, I played like Pokemon Snap and things like that. I didn't get back into it until Let's Go Pikachu. So I don't know what's already been established in the series and everything. I always tried to get into it, but it just felt like a lost cause for me. Like I just wanted to wait till the new one came out. But one thing that kind of, and maybe this is considered a small thing that kind of bothered me in the sense that it just feels so tedious, is the constant loading screens. And this is just something that I think, in addition to like all of the graphics and fighting animations, is like maybe Game Freak just didn't have the ability to really use and harness the power of the Switch just yet. They were focusing on other things, which is fine. They're used to DS, 3DS, things like that, and the Switch is more powerful. But like certain routes, like I would go not even a whole minute on the bicycle and there would be...
Oh no.
Stop it!
Uh-oh.
Ah!
She back. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so the constant loading screens is just something that I'm like, it's not awful, but like, that'd be cool if, like, you know, they could improve on that in the future and not have as many loading screens. You know, kind of like, I didn't realize what a big improvement it was in Breath of the Wild to not have all of these different loading screens, except for like when you changed, you know, towers or something like that. I was like, wow, that's so nice. I'm looking at my list of cons and I'm like, none of them seem like huge. A lot of them are a lot of things, I think. But another thing, I think some, at least from what I've played thus far, some areas could be greatly enhanced if they had allowed voice acting. Not all of it. But like, especially, I think everyone points this out, but especially in the beginning when Rose is talking and it's like you have this big build up with the amazing music and it's in the stadium, everyone's cheering, and then it's just some guy going, and I'm like, I don't know. And I mean, there's major room for that to go very, very wrong if they got terrible voice acting, you know, just like how skeptical we were for Breath of the Wild. But that's just like a little thing that I'm like, if you were able to do it right, I think it could have enhanced some areas, but not all of it. Most of the cutscenes I was totally fine.
No, I agree with you there. Yeah, there's a few. That's actually probably the best example, but there's a few spots where voice acting would have really made it feel less awkward, almost. Yeah.
Especially the stuff with Sonya and all the discoveries that she's making. I feel like those areas could have used it.
Yeah, she's such a cool character too. She's very much, I don't know. It just feels awkward. Yeah.
I have. Sorry, I just want to mention real quick.
Yes.
I have a video top 10 best and worst, which is just my opinion on everything. And one of the worst things that I mentioned is similar as to the game looks so good that it's just odd that once someone starts talking, it's just text and not voice acting, considering that they have to get voice actors for all of the major characters anyways for when they do the anime, which they've most likely already started recording. Maybe not the English dub, but I know, like, I think in like some of the Japanese episodes, like, I almost said Link, Ash, like, just got to the Galar region. So if he's getting there now, that means some of the characters have already recorded, or if not all of them. And I also bring up what you mentioned, Daniel, about the voices for the Pokemon, about it being like the 8-bit noise instead of the actual thing. And it's like, well, maybe they didn't. Yeah, it's like, well, maybe they didn't have time to do voice acting or the voices for all of the Pokemon. But then it's like, well, they have to do it anyways for the anime, which they've probably already done. But then maybe it's a situation to where, like, the game company still has to pay extra to use stuff recorded for the actual anime. Like, because that would be kind of, I don't know how that works. Like, if there's a game based off of a movie, if they can reuse clips without having to pay the voice actors extra. I don't know how that works, but maybe it's a situation like that. But anyways, that was one of the things that I mentioned. So I definitely agree. Especially with the way the anime looks now. I think the game in some ways looks better than the actual anime, because they've changed the anime style a few times. And then they have the weird looking CG movie that's coming out, the Mewtwo Strikes Back movie. That just, like, it looks worse than the game does. So, like, when you have the game that looks better than the big budget movie that's coming out, but one doesn't have voice acting, when they already have all the voice acting recorded anyways. And it's just odd. And it seems like maybe that movie should have came out when Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee came out, since those stories were tied together.
Relevant, yeah.
But anyways, you go, Daniel.
Right. Well, on the subject of the Pokemon sounds, it drives me nuts that they basically use garbled Game Boy quality sound effects for almost every old or returning Pokemon. And like Pikachu and Eevee, they have updated voice clips, of course, and all of the new Pokemon that are new to the Galar region all have updated voice clips. But then when you get what random Pokemon that's a recurring one, you get Ninetales or something, and they're like, and every Pokemon kind of sounds like that. It just, I don't know, it just feels so out of place because you've got these new Pokemon that have really good sound clips that sound like whatever animal that is, and then these other ones that just sound like garbled nonsense. And people are like, well, then it's consistent with the old games. But no, but as new generations come out, you update things. This
isn't the old games.
Yeah, we can do better than a Game Boy quality level of sound clip for this Pokemon. We could give them new models in game. Why couldn't we give them new sounds as well? And this was the same complaint I had for games. I had the exact same complaint, but it just bothers me. Because it feels so jarring and janky and out of place. Actual other criticism that I have is this is something in the wild area is really the only place you're gonna probably encounter it, where you have to get gym badges in order to catch high level Pokemon. And I feel like if I encounter early on level 30 Onix and I've only got level 10 Pokemon, but I'm really good at this and I'm really strategic, but I can't catch it just because the game's like, no.
Yeah.
You can encounter, but you can't catch it. And I'm like, no, I actually used 20 potions and was really strategic and did my type matchups and everything, and I actually got him down to low health. Like, why can't I even just try to catch him at just really low odds of being successful? You know, before just to be like, you can't even throw the Pokeball. Sorry, dude. Yeah, it just feels really just frustrating almost, And I get why they did it, which is like to bar you from having a super OP team. But if you worked really hard for it, I feel like you should be able to do that. Maybe I'm spoiled by Breath of the Wild, where that's a game where I'm like, you know what? If I want to do that, I can just go and do it. So,
or even like, and I don't know if this makes any sense. You know how like it says you can now catch level 30 Pokemon, but it also says Pokemon level up to level 50 will listen to you. So I'm like, why couldn't it at least be like that? You can catch it, but it won't be able to listen to your commands until you defeat the first gym battle or something. So when you encounter it, you can catch it at the very least.
Yeah, something like that would be really, I don't know, that would be a good way to kind of mitigate that, I guess, Another thing, there's sort of like online or multiplayer sort of functions. If you're in the wild area and say, and this is something I've tested at home, say my son and I are both playing Pokemon. I've played Sword, he's playing Shield. We actually have 2 Switches. We're playing simultaneously. We're both in the wild area. Both our characters will be there running around together in the wild area. But, and that's really cool. And then we can do raid battles together if we want. We can visit each other's campsites and stuff. And we can cook together and trade Pokemon, whatever. And that's all really well and fun. But there's like a 5-second lag between my inputs and what he sees on his screen and his inputs and what I see, which makes trying to play together really hard to do. And I feel like on local wireless communication should be able to handle that. If you can do local wireless Smash Bros battles, which are down to the millisecond for your inputs, and it worked perfectly, why can't you run around the wild area together in Pokemon? The Switch can do it. So that's a thought. And it's not even just because in the wild area there's a huge, great expanse, and with Smash you're on a small stage. Think about Mario Kart. You can do local wireless in Mario, and there's these great sprawling tracks and like 8 players and all this stuff. I don't know. It just feels like they didn't implement a really good idea very well. So, oops. Multiplayer's fun. Especially when it's just optional multiplayer that is just for fun and not like Triforce Heroes where it's the only way to have fun. So, yeah, that's all I got. That's all she wrote.
I always like to bring up Star Fox 64 3D on the Nintendo 3DS, to where you not only had online multiplayer with voice chat, but it also used the camera that was built in on the 3DS, to where all people that were playing, I don't know if you had to be friends with each other, but it not only had voice chat, but it had video chat. So like while you were shooting at someone who's flying around in this huge open space, you can see their video like tagging along of like their reaction and stuff. And it's like, if the Nintendo 3DS, not even the new 3DS, the original
OG.
3DS, on one of the first system updates it had, so like no software updates or anything, on one of the first games designed for it, it had online video chat, and the Switch doesn't even have online chat on most things. And then, it, like you said, this thing has the 5-second delay. I haven't tested that though, like the raid battles and stuff, but not the actual.
Yeah,
like,
there's no delays on the raid
around.
battles or anything. Like all that is all well and fine. It's just it's just the wild area that there's this huge lag, and it's blah.
All right.
So,
Well, I think that's everything, right?
that's it. End of the show.
No.
Oh, sorry. I have one more.
Oh,
random
yes.
one.
Yes.
And I know
Also
this
not
would
really
have
the end
been
of the show.
extremely difficult, considering Let's Go had 151 Pokemon versus this one having like 500 something. But I miss being able to have the Pokemon follow us. That's what happens when your first adult experience is Let's Go.
Yes.
I'm like, I get it. I know that would have taken so much time to animate. But I really miss that.
Would it? Because they're all the Pokemon can populate in the wild area and stuff, or
That's
on the
true.
roof. So they already have walking animation stuff.
Like, not even necessarily you have to let us ride certain ones like before, but let us ride them.
That would be cool.
Riding
Yeah.
Galarian Rapidash.
That's a good point, because at the end of like Let's Go, when the world kind of opens up a little bit and you can just ride around on Charizard like a badass, and you're just like, sorry.
Or
I
just
can't
attach yourself to Snorlax.
Yes. Like that stuff is great. Or riding King's Pouch, which is the funniest one probably. But yeah,
This is what happens when your first big experience is Let's Go. It spoils you.
It does.
Now I'm done. Sorry. I just read that and I was like, oh wait, this was a big deal to me.
That's a good one. Jesse,
Huh? Yeah, me.
do you have anything else to throw in the pot here? All right, podcast over. Bye, guys.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
No, so now it's
I
time
unplugged
for
my headphones
the
again. I keep doing
quiz,
that.
I think.
I am ready.
Okay.
My body is ready.
All right, we're gonna do this thing. Oh yeah, news. Shovel Knight third DLC came out. If anyone missed that, that's my news. That's the news. I'm throwing that news in there.
All right.
Good news.
Do we have a name for this quiz yet, or are we just
I
going to
literally
say Zelda
wrote
quiz?
GOJ quiz
Nice.
12/16/2019.
Okay,
Cool.
I've got a name for it.
Okay.
Hey everyone, it's me again, 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐿. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the Game Over Jessie channel, please consider purchasing a Game Over Jessie t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJessie, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJessie, and much, much more.